Stewart in the backfield, a big one there to get the first down.
The big red zone threat is Greg Olsen. He's sitting right there in the slot. See if they try to get him the ball here.
Cam Newton to throw, fires in the end zone, touchdown Jericho Cotchery. The Panthers get 6.
Well, I had my eyes on Greg Olsen, and
so
I think Jacksonville Jaguars had all their attention on Greg Olsen as well. And Jericho Cotchery, the most sure-handed guy, receiver at least on this football team, gets the touchdown from Cam Newton.
And whether he's on the road or home.
56 one day.
Blake Bortles, end zone catch made, touchdown Rashad Green for the Jags. And the rookie who helped move him downfield on the receiving end of the Bortles touchdown pass in his first career NFL kickoff weekend season opener.
Rashad Green has been the receiver that Blake Bortles has been relying on all day here.
Offensive line that allowed the most sacks last year, 71. They've only allowed 1 today on Bortles, who fires, and it's intercepted. Josh Norman has a Panther pick 6. Touchdown, Carolina.
As soon as this ball left Blake Bortles' hands, he knew that he had made a mistake. Great reaction by Josh Target.
Ingram carries, and Mark Ingram, touchdown, Saints!
All that being said, Chris, you could talk about receiving threats in the red zone, but good teams, and John Payton.
Completion, 1 timeout, 16 seconds. Winston, end zone, catch, yes, no, yes, touchdown, Vincent Jackson for the Bucs.
Any of y'all doubters on Jameis Winston, just watch this throw. This is a special throw. We saw a lot of this in college, and Rob Ryan is upset at his young secondary.
Well, it was right where it had to be in the footwork of Vincent Jackson, who's, we mentioned, 6'5", also had to haul it in and keep his feet in.
Ready! Blue ready! Blue's out!
Winston keeps, touchdown, Tampa Bay. He was casual and calm and steps into the end zone.
Well, I don't think anybody in this building, us up here, were expecting a boot action to his weaker side there. The Saints certainly are off balance, caught off guard here, and short.
Touchdown, Saints! Austin Johnson, the fullback, got the football. And they're going to go for 2, which would make sense because you've got to cut this lead and keep it a 1-score game. Robinson stays in. Breeze. Wide open. Pass caught. Touchdown, Saints. Willie Snead. There is a flag down at the 10-yard line.
That's in that area of illegal pick. And it's interesting where this flag came from, Chris. It came from all the way across the field. While they talk.
Here goes Mark Ingram with blockers in front, and touchdown, New Orleans. Mark Ingram with his 2nd touchdown of the season, 16th play of the drive. Touchdown called back because of penalty this season. Cam Newton on 2nd down. End zone, there it is. Greg Olsen, Panther touchdown, and no flags.
Cam Newton told us the other day that this dude, his words, this dude never lets me down. And he didn't let him down here. This was an outstanding throw by Cam Newton.
Standing at his own 5. And Murphy already a gain of almost 20 yards, and he's dashing toward the sideline and has room. Marcus Murphy. It looks like he is going to score a Saints touchdown on a punt return.
Well, Brad Nortman, we know he can boot this ball, but he completely kicked this away from his coverage. You know you're trying to get as much in good young receiver coaches in Ricky Proehl.
Cam Newton, Olsen, touchdown, Carolina.
And there it is again, Chris. Call it RPO. It's the read pass option. You can either run pass option. You can either hand that ball off. If the defense commits at all, you have the opportunity to pick it up and throw it. And when you got a guy like Greg Olsen that's great running around in zones, it almost that was too.
Playing today because of a high ankle sprain, so Greg Olsen is always scaring the loaded tight end on the receiving end.
Hey, Disco, even power! Disco, even power! Disco, even power!
Cam Newton has it, and he's going to keep it. No flip, touchdown Panthers.
Heard the check at the line of scrimmage, not sure if it was a dummy call or if he was just giving himself this opportunity. I think he probably was meant to hand this thing off, and when he saw them commit, he pulled it down and ran it himself.
He gets the pitch. Kyrie Robinson, touchdown Saints. And we could assume that the Saints will go for 2. And then if they convert, they would only need a field goal to tie.
That was a really cool play design there. They had the ghost motion by the receiver. It kind of pulled the eyes of the defense towards Brandon Cooks, I believe it was that receiver.
As the Bucs face a 3rd and 8. Winston throws, and it's intercepted. It's Josh Norman. He's going to have his 2nd pick 6 of the season.
Well, you talk about turnovers and takeaways. You start the game, you have 2 of them immediately. And this is just a bad decision by Jameis Winston. Josh Norman is sitting in the flat. I think he believed he was in 3 deep. And he couldn't have got an easier catch here for a touchdown.
Now there is a flag. Cam Newton, end zone, catch made, touchdown, Ted Ginn. Now he's waving it off. Did he juggle it? The arms went up.
Well, he did not juggle it, and he should challenge this because this is a touch open receiver, Vincent Jackson, get it set up inside the 5-yard line.
Ready! Blue ready! What's up?
Doug Martin, touchdown, Tampa Bay!
Love the energy that this offense showed on that drive. They were stagnant would be a bad word to describe what it was before, but this one had tempo, it had pace, had completions, had commitment to the running.
As an NFL kicker, that's not going to cut it. On 1st down, Jonathan Stewart with a big hole. Ball comes out again, but the Panthers have
How about that?
What a play for Carolina. From good to bad to touchdown.
I'm not even...
On 3rd and 4. Time underneath. Completes. And Ted Ginn is in for the touchdown. Gliding across. Second touchdown pass for Cam Newton today.
Well, this is just like stealing here for this Carolina offense. They get him in man-to-man coverage. Ted Ginn runs underneath, and he is his.
It's a contract year. His first rushing touchdown of the season earlier in this game. Winston, end zone. He held on. Touchdown, Charles Sims.
This was a really good job by Jameis Winston being patient in the pocket here. I'm somewhat surprised that they started off as quickly as they did. They got some teams that didn't have great quarterbacks early in the year.
Vincent Jackson is in the end zone on the pass from Winston for a Tampa Bay touchdown.
But they've done what they've needed to do all season long. Took care of Jacksonville early. Houston did last week and this week. They've done enough to win the football game. And today it's been a showcase, and it's going to...
On 3rd and goal from the 7. Cousins has time. End zone. Touchdown Redskins. Derek Carrier.
What a great job here by Kirk Cousins. Showing some patience in the pocket here. He's getting some great...
Splits out to the top of your screen. Devontae Freeman the back. Devontae Freeman. And the ball's loose. Julio Jones is on it. It's a Falcon touchdown.
I believe it was Keenan Robinson who got in here and knocked this ball out of...
Darrell Young, the fullback. Matt Jones has a Redskin touchdown.
Darrell Young did the job on that touchdown run by Matt Jones. Blocking on the edge. Giving his running back.
Still need the touchdown from the 6 of Washington. Devontae Freeman. Can he get to the end zone? Touchdown Falcons.
No surprise at all for me. Turn around, hand the ball to the guy that's been doing it all day long. Devontae Freeman on this touchdown run. Now his 8th in 3 games, or 8th on the... They got their rushers in there now. They're going to need to see if they can get after Kirk Cousins here.
He's only been sacked once today. Pressure coming. He gets rid of it. It's intercepted. Robert Alford. It's going to be a victory for the Falcons. Touchdown on the pick 6.
Against Tracy Porter again.
59.
3rd down and 8. Stafford with plenty of time. Touchdown Lions! Right on target to Lance Moore.
Well, that was a nice confident drive by the Detroit Lions.
Handoff. Touch. Well, let's see. The officials are saying, hold on a moment. Jeremy Langford got the carry, and they're going to give him the touchdown. The rookie from Michigan State. Fox sent him in with the extra lineman, and he punches it in.
I think they got away with one right there.
Theo Riddick is in for the Lions. Stafford looked that way. End zone throw, corner of the end zone, Tim Wright. And the Lions with a touchdown, not the original target of Stafford.
Not at all was he the original target. And there's very few quarterbacks in the league that can get away with finding these funny arm angle.
Stafford, end zone. The ball is juggled, and the Bears come up with it. An interception by Jonathan Anderson. Looked like a touchdown, but not held on to by Tate. And it's ruled a pick for Chicago. Tate thinks otherwise. There's Anderson. This will be reviewed automatically because it's a turnover. The rookie from TCU just brought up from the...
Trying to pick his past that yard. Just let him get over the top naturally. Shot themselves in the foot again.
Cutler firing high for Jeffrey. He comes down with a touchdown, Bears.
He made up for it there. What a throw and what a catch.
And what a comeback to this game for Alshon Jeffrey.
He skied through 3 defenders here to make an outstanding catch.
From the 2.
Here's that bunch look again down at the bottom of your screen. 3 bodies. See if they run some kind of combination route or ISO up top.
Matt Forte has it and in for the Chicago touchdown.
He distracted me like he distracted Detroit. Put those guys down at the bottom, draw some attention there with the back end defenders, and turn around and hand it off to Matt Forte, and Adam Gase gets what he wants, a rushing touchdown in the end zone.
And it's the second rushing touchdown this season for Forte, and the Bears looks like they're going to go for 2 with a 5-point lead. First and goal for the Lions.
Talk about getting a break. That's a huge break. It would have been 4th down at the 21-yard line.
And 25 seconds to play. End zone throw. Touchdown Lions. Calvin Johnson.
We've been looking for Calvin Johnson all second half, and he finally shows up when it matters. For 2 before that ball comes out.
No challenge. Quick snap. End zone throw. And yes, touchdown, Calvin Johnson.
And we talked about it in the open. They have to win the matchups outside. That is the biggest one of the day. Calvin Johnson versus Xavier Rhodes.
Achilles surgery. A key member of the backfield last year. Stafford, pressure coming. End zone, touchdown Lions. It's Eric Ebron. His 3rd touchdown catch of the season.
Well, to go for it here too. You'll know if they run the ball that there probably is a 2-down option.
Brett Ellison, the blocking tight end, is in on the left. That's him in motion. Terrific blocker for the Vikings. Peterson, that's a fake, that's a throw, that's a touchdown. Bridgewater to Kyle Rudolph.
Like I said, I know they like to do play action down here and get Teddy the option to either run the ball or throw it. But his tight end was wide.
Wide open is Diggs. He leaps for it in the end zone. Touchdown Vikings.
Whew, he went by Mathis so fast right here. And it was a double move. And what a great catch. Spectacular catch. A little out and up route. And Mathis had his eyes in the Bucks, or the Bears offensive line, excuse me, has no answer for him there.
Marcus Sherrills from the 35 has a block and turns the corner. Sherrills is going to go in for a Viking touchdown. A 65-yard punt return. Breezing into the end zone.
That really did look easy, didn't it, Chris? They got set up on the right side of the field here on your picture, and there is nobody.
The 8-year-old offensive coordinator, you remember him from Denver. Goes back a long way with Cutler. End zone throw. Catch. Did he hold on? Yes! Touchdown! Bears! Alshon Jeffrey. And Jay Cutler can see his name next to Sid Luckman in the Bears quarterback record book.
This was a heck of a throw by
Cutler, and the Bears are going to lead. Touchdown, Chicago.
He's getting up smiling, but how about the courage of your quarterback here? All that realignment of the offense just so he could scramble out of the pocket. But it's what he does at the end that says, hey, I'm in it to win it today. Sticks his
this year. And now their defense on the spot. It's 3rd and 4 against Bridgewater, who has time and open. It's Diggs, and he can fly. Stephon Diggs spins in toward the end zone. Touchdown!
Kyle Fuller's been on Stephon Diggs most of the day.
That's Diggs' second touchdown of his career in back-to-back weeks. And of course, they'll make sure before the extra point is kicked. We had back the fullback, Bruce Miller. Gabbert to throw and wide open and a touchdown. Garrett Selleck at San Francisco breaks through on the Blaine Gabbert toss.
What a gutsy play call here. You're on the 1-yard line. You don't have any of your runners back. You're with a new quarterback, and you call a quick play action. Is on the bench behind him because of the that we've seen so far today.
Drone gets the carry, this time wrapped up and thrown to the turf. Shirt inducted into the school's Hall of Fame in 2005, and a great guy to talk to. Gabbert, end zone, touchdown! Garrett Selleck, 2 today.
Another question on this 49ers team was, who's picking up the slack for Vernon Davis, who's now going to catch passes from Peyton Manning and Selleck half, and the only thing that gets you in trouble is giving up a big play, and it's on the first snap.
Ryan goes underneath Devontae Freeman. He could go to the end zone. He's in. It's a touchdown, Freeman, for the Falcons.
This offense absolutely thrives in pressure situations, and this mismatch that ends up here, Devontae Freeman on Lynch, makes this an easy touchdown for Atlanta.
It'll be 2nd and 8. Opening drive for the Vikings from their own 20-yard line. Jerick McKinnon has come in at running back. Bridgewater hesitates, wide open. He's got his tight end, and he's in the end zone. Rhett Ellison with a Viking touchdown.
Very nice, patient, methodical drive by the Vikings offense here. And as you watch this replay, the Viking, or in that completion, it's amazing to me with the way they throw the football around it. They don't convert as many of these opportunities. Let's see what they got here down in the red zone so they can keep this drive going.
On 3rd and 8. End zone throw. Catch made. And yes, Clive Walford with a touchdown Raiders. And there is a flag down back at the 5-yard line, the other side of the field.
I can only imagine where that flag is. There's got to be some sort of defensive penalty.
Hey, hold on. No, Liz 55. Liz 55. Now.
4 wide receivers for Oakland on 3rd down and 8. Pressure picked up. Carr for the end zone. Catch made. Andre Holmes, touchdown Raiders.
This is the offense they love to showcase. Andre Holmes is in the slot on this play. He ends up one.
A bouncer from Janikowski for Darrell Patterson. Trouble picking it up, but he can run. And gets up across the 30. Patterson down the sideline. Could Janikowski get to him? No! It's going to be a touchdown Vikings on the Patterson return. Unbelievable.
I tell you, sometimes, Chris, when these balls start squibbing on the ground, he muffs it somewhat before he picks it up. The coverage units get lost a little bit. They don't know where the returner is. And Cordero Patterson picked up a couple of blocks. He's got understanding the situation, not letting the receiver get behind him. It's a huge play.
Adrian Peterson is loose.
See ya.
I don't think anybody will catch up to Adrian Peterson. It's a Viking touchdown of 80 yards.
Well, you got to think that Minnesota was just going to try to run out the clock here. Adrian Peterson one-on-one with Nico Thorpe. Breaks one tackle, and there's nobody that's going to catch A-Speed, and so they made him inactive, and it puts a lot of pressure on the undrafted rookie today.
He checks out. Fred Jackson checks in and goes out as a receiver at the top of your screen. Empty backfield for Russell Wilson, who floats one. Catch made. Touchdown Seahawks. It's Tyler Lockett.
You know, Jimmy Ward is a safety masquerading as a corner in this San Francisco 49ers defense. And to me, Chris, this is a mismatch all day long. Number 16, Tyler Lockett.
With second possession, second chance to get into the end zone. Rolls through the crowd and touchdown Seahawks.
It's too easy right now for Seattle. They are on all cylinders. 120 yards of offense still in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns. They had red zone scoring issues. They were bottom of the league scoring once they got inside the 20. But today, Russell.
On 3rd and 10, pressure coming, it's picked up, pass caught, inside the 5, Tyler Lockett, touchdown Seahawks!
Russell Wilson has been one of the
Gabbert, catch made. Vance McDonald has a 49er touchdown.
down on the field earlier. I saw them practicing this throw down in the red zone. This little seam route through 3 deep coverage is always going to be there. He could have let that thing go, but I don't think that was his initial target.
Wilson has it. Wide open is Rawls. Thomas Rawls. Touchdown Seattle. From from 31 yards out.
They got no answer for Thomas Rawls today, whether it's as a runner or as a receiver. He is absolutely destroying this San Francisco defense.
David Johnson with a Cardinal touchdown.
Even though they gave up the touchdown there was a lot of plays from within the 5-yard line. That 49ers defense should not hold their heads down here. Yes, they had a bunch of penalties, but they were showing some resiliency. But David Johnson,
Drone as a receiver going to the top of your screen. Good hands. Gabbert underneath. It's a touchdown, 49ers. Vance McDonald. All 4 of Gabbert's touchdown passes have gone to tight end since he's taken over the starting role.
A lot of people want to compare Blaine Gabbert to Alex Smith. Well, obviously, he likes his tight ends just like Alex Smith does in Kansas City. And a good drive started with that explosive play to Blake Bell.
The NFL's touchdown pass leader looking for his first today in a tie game with 2.5 to play. Carson Palmer. Can he run it in? Palmer to the goal line and into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson Palmer. An awkward looking spike, but that's okay. He did what he had to do.
Hey, he's excited, and you know, you write up a game plan as you're studying.
Palmer, end zone, J.J. Nelson, touchdown Cardinals. On 3rd and 15, that's the 28th touchdown pass of the season for Carson Palmer.
We have Maurice Alexander in the game because
third down and 8. Carson Palmer. Touchdown! David Johnson on the catch. The rookie with his 9th touchdown of this year. And Janoris Jenkins, the injured player.
if you remember, Janoris Jenkins took that hit early in the game from T.J. McDonald, and he got popped again here after this completion. And
Cardinal offense had 3 turnovers in that game. They have not turned it over today.
That could be why David Johnson's on the sideline too after that fumble.
Kerwynn Williams through the hole. And Kerwynn Williams is in for a Cardinal touchdown. A popular player in practice. A number of defensive players were saying this week and all season, this guy is tough to tackle in practice, and he showed in a game he can reach the end zone.
Well, this is really good play designed by Arizona. You get a double pull, playing a meaningful game in December, but you want to get the feeling of winning in December for your future of this football team.
Stafford to throw, and it's intercepted. The Rams with a takeaway. Trumaine Johnson, and he's going to score. Touchdown Rams.
Not a lot of interceptions on this Rams defense, but Trumaine Johnson is having a great year. This is his 5th interception on the season, and he's covering up the big boy, Calvin Johnson. We mentioned it early. You got red zone opportunity. Calvin Johnson at the bottom of your screen, and what this does, it makes 2 people on this Rams defense account for him. See if he goes somewhere else with his football.
He does go the other way. Catch made. Golden Tate. Touchdown Lions. Stafford's 23rd touchdown pass of the season. And a Lion fan in attendance gets the souvenir.
Golden Tate just runs a little under.
Todd Gurley, can he turn the corner toward the end zone? Touchdown! 7th touchdown of the year.
And on the edge there, it's Corey Hart.
And 1. Gurley with the first down. And Todd Gurley in for the touchdown.
Chris, did you see that jump cut he just made when he got through that hole? On Mark Barron, who's playing at weak safety / linebacker, and Matthew Stafford saw it immediately and fired it in there for the completion to get down inside the 5-yard line.
Stafford end zone. Golden Tate with a touchdown for the Lions. That's its second of the day. And there looks a flag down at the goal line.
It'll be interesting to see, Chris, if they call this offensive pass interference. And they're going to have to determine.
Fell this season. Longtime Seattle assistant. Great player himself, but doing the job for Jack Del Rio. On the Raider defense. 2nd and goal. It's John Kuhn and touchdown Packers. That's his 5th rush of the year and his 2nd touchdown.
Well, John Kuhn just gave T.J. Carey the business on this touchdown run. Just a quick little dive inside
to overcome an early interception on first down from the 34. Passes intercepted. Demarius Randall with a pick 6 for the Pack.
Well, I think this is exactly how you do not want to start a football game if you're Derek Carr. This pass completely gets away from him. He's looking for Seth Roberts, and he overshoots him by about 5 yards over his head. And it hits Demarius Randall.
Able to muster today is a couple of field goals. Derek Carr for the end zone. Catch made. Touchdown, Amari Cooper.
Fantastic play design. Outstanding execution by Derek Carr and Amari Cooper.
Quick throw, open, and just like that, James Jones with a Packer touchdown. 30 yards.
Well, Oakland have been playing pretty exclusively man-to-man single high. Here, they're playing zone, and it looks like there's a complete loss in communication on the back end.
Inside handoff. Will Tupuafu, the ball is out, and the Rams come up with it. Akeem Ayers has it. Ayers in the end zone, and it's a St. Louis score.
Well, I got to tell you, Chris, we talked about a motivated Seattle team in the open. They have been nothing but sloppy here, and of course, you get a guy that is not used to handling the ball who fumbles this.
Todd Gurley in the backfield. For Case Keenum, who's looking to throw, and does, going deep for the end zone, diving and catching it for the touchdown Rams is Kenny Britt.
Well, Kenny Britt one-on-one with Richard Sherman playing man-to-man, and I don't know that I've seen Richard Sherman get run by like this very often in his career. But this is
Not to start the second half. Got up slowly. Russell Wilson without a flag for the end zone, and Baldwin, Seahawks touchdown. There is a flag down. It came late.
And I think it's going to be pass interference on the defense. But this is just amazing that the Rams defense allowed this play to happen on 3rd and 18. Doug Baldwin.
Todd Gurley for the end zone. Touchdown Rams.
What an impressive drive by the St. Louis Rams. Obviously aided by 2 fumble recoveries by the center. But they needed a big, significant scoring drive here, and they come away with it on the legs.
Broadcast associate Mike Strack, associate director Tavis Strand, Mark Sosna, Rick Odioso, and James Petralka helping us in the booth and with statistics as Wilson is on the run. For the end zone, catch made, and touchdown Seahawks, Jermaine Kearse.
Well, with 17 seconds on the clock, I'm not sure that it makes a difference, but this is yet another outstanding scramble play.
With Alfred Morris in the backfield. Cousins for Ryan Grant, and touchdown Redskins.
Chris, this is an offense that is not running the ball well, but they're running it consistently. And when you do that, you give yourself an opportunity to set up play action pass, boots out of the pockets. Kirk Cousins makes a fantastic throw here. Play hard, see if they can get themselves back in this game with a stop here.
Pierre Thomas checks in. Had a big game against the Philadelphia Eagles in the Redskin division clincher. Cousins for Pierre Garçon, who has it, and he's in with a Redskin touchdown.
Good job by Kirk Cousins, buying time in the pocket, the willingness to step up and throw this ball down the field.
Cousins for the end zone, touchdown. It's Jamison Crowder.
And I'm not sure what Dallas is doing here on defense, but this was 7-on-7 throw and catch here for Kirk Cousins to Crowder. Nobody even around the receiver when he caught this, and just an easy step.
Trying to get that #1 seed. They're trailing the Dolphins at the moment. Back here, that's Brian Hoyer, the quarterback for the Texans, as the pass is caught. Jason Witten not good enough to get into the end zone.
And Kellen Moore, if he lets this ball go out on time, it's a touchdown right away, but he held on it just long enough for the Redskins defense to rally.
Sometimes you look for Dez Bryant down here. Butler's at the top of your screen. Terrence Williams at the bottom. Kellen Moore, end zone, touchdown, Cole Beasley. Next weekend in the first round of the playoffs. Trying to finish up and even the score with the Cowboys, who beat them earlier. Colt McCoy on 3rd down, wide open. Rashad Ross will wander into the end zone for a Redskin touchdown. 71 yards.
And Rod Marinelli has got to be so upset right now with a breakdown like that. Big plays, absolutely.
He isn't exactly locked up. Broncos play later, and so does Kansas City. End zone, Cole Beasley with a Cowboy touchdown.
Well, can't salvage it all, Joe Barry, as you stand on the sideline. The Cowboys have been down here now 3 trips in a row. The previous 2